Excellent. So it's so wonderful to see both of you this evening. I'm so happy that we could be here together to do a little bit of this yoga therapy protocol for breath work, for respiratory health and speech disorders. And so again, thank you to the Parkinson's Foundation. It's really awesome that they continue to give us these grants. We're very grateful for the opportunity to be able to share these programs with everybody. And, one of the things that's really special about this particular program is that we get to do a lot of work with pranayama, with sound, and these can be very profoundly healing techniques that Western science is now realizing, wow, there's a lot of therapeutic benefits to this. And we get to see the application of these benefits in real time. It's very exciting. And particularly for people living with Parkinson's and other neurodegenerative diseases. But really across the board, we see how these things are really helpful. And so without further ado, we'll go ahead and get started with our protocol this evening. And so if you were with us last time, we're going to be building on the previous protocol. We'll be doing a lot of the things that we did in the last protocol and then some additional things. And our first thing that we're going to begin with today is the Om. I'm going to break down the Om a little bit. So just coming to sit in whatever is your most comfortable seat, pressing your feet down into the floor. Let your hands just gently rest on your knees. Go ahead and pick your shoulders up, give them a little squeeze, and relax the shoulders down the back. Sitting nice and tall, take a deep breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. Do that twice more, breathing in. Breathing out. Breathing in. And breathing out. Do the first sound, the ah sound, deep breath in. Opening your mouth as wide as you can. Ah. I'll do that a couple of times. Deep breath in. Ah. Breathing in once more, big and deep and full. Very good. Allow yourself to take a couple regulating breaths. We'll move on to the second sound, the ooh sound. So this time, opening the mouth about halfway. You might make a circular shape with the mouth. More like a ooh sound. Deep breath in. Breathing in. Ooh. And one more time, deep breath in. Ooh. Allowing yourself a few regulating breaths. And then we'll do 3 of the completely closed sound. You might wrap the lips over the teeth a little bit, pursing them together. Deep breath in. Breathing in. One more time, deep breath in. Very good. Take in a couple of regulating breaths. And then we're going to do 11 ohms. Just do them as rolling ohms. And so whenever you finish an ohm, you can take a breath in and wrap right back into your next ohm. You don't have to stay in sync with me. And when you feel that you are complete, you can just place your hands together in front of your heart. If you'd like to count your ohms, you can, or you can just feel it out. I'll do 11 ohms. And so it's all 3 of those sounds rolling right into the next ah, ooh, Deep breath in. Om. 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 Pressing the hands in together, softly breathing. Becoming aware of any sensations that you have in the body. Letting your hands begin to come down, back to the knees, and bringing your attention and awareness all the way down to your feet. Noticing your feet, how they connect with the floor. And beginning to lift the toes off the floor and then tapping them back down to the floor. Tapping the toes. You can do right and then left. Alternating, tapping the toes. And then doing a few where you're tapping them together, lifting both of them up and tapping them down. And going the other way, keeping the toes on the ground, lifting the heels, tapping the heels. Maybe doing both of them together. And then maybe alternating, lifting the right and then the left. Very good. Go ahead and stretch one of your legs all the way out in front of you. Kick that leg out and make some circles with that ankle. And just feel those toes making nice big circles. You don't have to go fast. You can go nice and slow. Feel the legs stretching as you do this, working as you do this. Change directions. And then set that foot gently back down to the floor. You can do the other leg, stretching the other leg out, beginning to make some circles. Toes moving in circles, ankles rotating. And then changing directions. Keep it active, really reaching through the leg. And then anchoring that foot back down to the floor, rooting your feet all the way down, imagining almost like they're growing roots down into the earth, keeping your hands resting comfortably on your knees. We're going to do a little seated cat-cow. Lifting the heart up, looking up and back, breathing in deep and full. And then exhaling, pulling the belly button into the spine as you round the back, dropping the chin down into the chest. And then breathing in to lift back up, looking up. Moving with the breath. Exhale to round. Inhale to lift up. Working back and forth, waking up the spine. Doing a few more rounds, nice and slow. Becoming aware of how the breath guides these movements. Very good. And then coming back into a neutral spine. And we'll just do a little bit more movement through the neck and the shoulders. We'll begin with some rotation. So looking over your right shoulder for a moment. Take a deep breath in. Easy breath out. Breathing in, big and deep and full. Exhale, exhale. One more deep breath in. And then exhale, coming back to center. Very good. We'll do the same thing the other direction, looking over your left shoulder. 3 slow, deep breaths. Very good. And then coming back to center, we'll start to do a little bit of lateral movement. So dropping the right ear down toward the right shoulder, and then pausing here, this time for 6 slow, deep breaths. So just pause here and listen to the breath. And then rotating your head to the other side, softly coming over to the left and pausing here for several slow, deep breaths, listening to the breath. Very good. And then when you feel complete, coming back to center, you might let your head gently go left and right a couple of times. You don't have to hold it. You might also add some of that rotation back in there, or even making some circles with the head. Very good. From here, we're going to come into a gentle twist. So decide which side you want to explore into first. I'm going to go to the right, but if it feels better for you to go to the left, you can do that as well. You're just going to reach to the side of your chair, grab your opposite knee, sit up nice and tall, look over your shoulder, and just pause here for 6 slow, deep breaths. When you feel complete, come back to center. Press your hands in together for a moment. Before you do the other side, just take a moment and let your spine fully unwind, especially holding into a twist for a long time. It's a big movement for the body. And then when you're ready, when you feel like the body has fully released the twist, you can explore the other direction. Pausing in the twist to really feel the movement that happens in the body from the breath. Very good. When you feel complete, slowly unwinding, coming back to center, and bringing the hands back in together. And just scanning the body, checking the body for any places it might be holding, any new sensations. And if it's necessary, if there's any places of tension, breathing into those spaces, just creating a little space there. Very good. We're going to come into goddess pose next. So this is a big pose where we just open our arms up. You might also take your feet wide apart. Point your toes out so they move in opposite directions. So rather than pointing your toes forward, you point them out to the right and the left. Reaching out, keep those elbows bent. Take up as much space as you can. Take a deep breath in. Hold the breath in for a moment. And then let the breath go out through the mouth with a sigh. Two more like that. Deep breath in, push your feet into the floor, squeeze the muscles in the legs, reach the arms out, hold the breath in. Let the breath go. One more time. Deep breath in. Hold the breath in. This time we'll add lion's breath. Go ahead and stick out your tongue, open your mouth, let the sound out. And then release the hands back down. Roll the shoulders up and back. Very good. And so anytime we're opening up the hips, stretching through the arms, what we're trying to do is create space in the pelvic floor, space in the rib cage, space in the diaphragm for us to be able to breathe. So we're going to do that a little bit more. We're going to go ahead and lean into our right knee. So your elbow's just going to come down to your right leg. And then you're going to reach that left hand up and over. So it's just a little side stretch. You can keep your feet wide, just like you did in goddess pose, stretching up and over, or maybe even reaching up through center, looking up. Deep breath in. Easy breath out. Deep breath in. Easy breath out. One more breath in, big and deep and full. And then exhale, come on back to center, hands on both knees, roll the shoulders up and back, release that side stretch. And then we'll repeat this on the other side, leaning into the left, this time reaching up and over with the right hand. Deep breath in. Easy breath out. Deep breath in. Easy breath out. One more breath in, big and deep and full. And then exhale, coming back to center. Very good. From here, we're going to do just a little bit of right and left. It's going to create a little bit more energy. So rather than moving into it and holding it, we're just going to come in and out. So breathing in, reaching the left hand up and over. Exhale back to center. Breathing in, right hand reaches up and over. Exhale back to center. Keep that going. Move with the breath. Notice the breath has to be faster to keep this pace. Strong breath in. Strong exhale. Strong breath in. Strong exhale. One more to each side. Very good. And then walking your feet back in so they're hip distance apart. The toes can point forward, just anchoring the feet into a neutral position, but bringing the hands now up to the tops of your shoulders. From here, we're just going to make some big circles. And we're going to continue with that strong breath. So breathing in and out. Strong inhale and exhale. Every time you take your elbows up, breathe in. Every time you start to drop them down, breathe out. You'll notice you have to breathe pretty fast. And then big breath in, reach your hands way up. And then exhale, lower the hands back down. Releasing all that energy. You might have gotten a little bit lightheaded. If that's happens, that's okay. Just take a moment and just rest. Just let the body do what it needs to start to rebalance and re-regulate. These are challenging breaths for the system. And so we want to just be very mindful in challenging the system a little bit at a time. You may have noticed that your heart rate came up a little bit. That's also normal. Just allowing the body a little bit of time to start settling down. If you catch yourself yawning, that's also very common. Usually when we yawn, that's the body's way of saying, wow, I'm either getting way more oxygen than I'm used to, or I'm not getting enough oxygen. And so the body is trying to figure out how to regulate, figuring out how to regulate. Very good. From here, we're going to take our hands and we're going to reach them back behind us. Grab onto your chair. And grab onto wherever feels most supportive. You could grab the seat of the chair. You can grab the arms of the chair. You might scoot forward in your chair a little bit. Bend your elbows a little bit. Lift your heart up nice and big, maybe beginning to tip the head back. Collarbones are lifting up toward the ceiling. This big back bend, maybe dropping the head back if that works on your spine and on your cervical region. Take a couple of slow, deep breaths. Pausing here to breathe. Feel the full expansion of the chest as you breathe in and out. Very good. Slowly bringing your head back, coming back to neutral, letting the hands come back forward. And again, just pausing here for a few moments in a neutral position. You might roll the shoulders up and back, just releasing out of any tensions that might have been created as we try to move into some of these more challenging shapes. And then from here, we're going to stay with that bigger energy for a few more moments. We're going to do a seated sun salutation. So just like we got the breath really going with the side to side and the fast breathing, we're going to keep a stronger pace here because we're, again, challenging the system. We're warming up the body. We're bringing solar energy into the system to challenge it, strengthen it, build our internal fire, our metabolism, our respiratory capacity, all of that. And we'll do that a little bit more with the seated version of the sun salutation. So I'm just going to adjust my chair a little bit here so I have a little bit more room. And you want to make sure you have a little bit of room in front of you here. So if you need to back your chair up a little bit, that's fine. Just make sure you have whatever space you need. You will remain seated for this portion, walking your feet a little further forward in front of you. Hands will begin just at heart center. So sitting up nice and tall, pressing hands in together. From here, take a deep breath in, reach your hands up and overhead, look up. As you exhale, you're going to put your hands on your knees, lean forward, way forward. If you feel like reaching for your toes, you can reach down to your toes. Drop your head low, 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 low. Slowly breathing in, rising all the way up, reaching up. Big breath in. And then exhale and bring the hands back to heart center. Very good. So that's the foundation of it. We're going to build on that. Let's do 2 more rounds just like that. Big breath in, reach up. Exhale, leaning forward, hands to knees or to the toes. Drop the head low, 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 low. Big breath in, sitting up, all the way up, reaching up. And then exhale, hands to the heart. One more time. Big breath in, reach up, look up. Exhale, leaning forward, hands to knees or to the toes. Drop the head low. Very good. Breathing in, sitting up, stretching up, reaching up, looking up. And then exhale, bring the hands into the heart. Very good. Let's add on to that. We're going to get some knee lifts in here. Big breath in, reach the hands up. Exhale, leaning forward, forward fold, hands to knees or to the toes. Big breath in as you sit up. This time, pick up your right knee. Give it a little hug. Take another breath out. Squeeze it in. And then letting go, breathing in, reaching up, looking up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Good. We'll do the left side. Arms up, breathe in. Exhale, forward fold, hands to knees or to the toes. Breathing in, sitting up, pick up that left knee. Give it a hug. Big breath out. Squeeze it in. And then breathing in, release, reach up, look up. Exhale, hands to the heart. We'll do 2 more on each side. Arms up, breathe in. Exhale, forward fold, hands to the knees, leaning in, leaning in. Exhale, exhale. Big breath in, sit up tall, right knee lifts. Breathing in, and then exhale, squeeze it in. Letting go, breathing in, reaching up, looking up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Arms up, breathe in. Exhale, lean in, forward fold. Exhale, exhale. Breathing in, sitting up, left knee lifts. Exhale, squeeze it in. Letting go, breathing in, reaching up, looking up. Exhale, hands to the heart. You can place one hand on top of the other, on the chest, or palms pressed, whatever feels good. Arms up, breathe in. Exhale, lean in. Breathe in, sit up, right knee lifts. Exhale, squeeze that knee toward the chest. Good. Breathing in, reaching up, looking up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Last one, arms up, breathe in. Exhale, forward fold. Breathing in, sitting up, left knee lifts. Exhale, squeeze it out. Letting go, breathing in, reaching up. Exhale, hands to the heart. Deep breath in. Easy breath out. Very good. All right, from here, we're going to do just a little bit of pressure point work and self-massage. So if you have a ball that you'd like to roll on the bottom of your foot, you're welcome to do that. Or if you can pick up your foot and hold on to your foot, you can also do that and just massage the bottom of the feet. We just want to get some massaging happening on the bottom of the feet. So oftentimes it's challenging to pick up the foot and get it all the way up here. So if that is not something that feels accessible for you today, I recommend just getting either a tennis ball or any kind of little massager tool. Even if you have a wooden stick or a dowel, you can always put that on the floor, and just something that you can roll your feet over back and forth a couple of times. And so if you need to holler to the other room and to ask somebody to get something for you, please do. Or if you want to try to get up and get it yourself, take a moment, make sure you get everything you need. And we're not going to do too long on the feet. So if it feels like it's problematic to get up and get something for the feet, you can also just relax for this part. And we'll be moving on from the feet shortly. But if you got, oh, perfect. You got one of those little tennis balls. You just put it on the floor and then you just roll it back and forth to the bottom of the feet. And do one foot. And we really want to open up the bottom of the feet. Sometimes we don't really make that connection of what the heck our feet have to do with the way that we breathe. But they actually have a lot to do with the way that we breathe, because all of the things that are happening in the feet translate to what's happening in the legs. And then what's happening in the legs translates what's happening in our pelvic bowl. And that our pelvic bowl, our pelvic floor, those muscles move hopefully correctly in sync with our diaphragm. And if they're not, that affects our breathing. So we really want to wake up those feet, bottom of the feet. Plus, anytime we're working on the bottom of the feet, we're also creating a little bit of relaxation, releasing tension. And that's very therapeutic and helps us get into a better relaxed breathing state. All right, if you've done one foot thoroughly, you can switch to the other. Make sure you are fair and give each one a little attention. No favorites. Really working in the bottom of those feet. Yeah, very good. And then when you feel complete with your feet, we're going to move on to the hands. Okay. So when you move on to the hands again, if you have a little ball and you want to keep the little ball, you can just rub the ball between the hands. It's a great way to get both of them done at the same time. You also can just take your thumb and run it nice and strong up the side of your hand, over the mound underneath the thumb, and press into those areas. the mound under each of the fingers. And when I'm working on my hands, I like to do like almost like a little pinching sensation. I squeeze in there, give it like a little twist. Really open up those hands. When we do this, it actually hydrates all the tissues. It's very important. Get our tissues nice and hydrated. They don't get stiff. You might also do each of the fingers. I like just doing a little gentle, repetitive pull on each of the fingers, one at a time. The thumb on the other side. I'm starting to switch sides. Feel free to switch hands. And getting into all those places that you did on the first hand as best you can on the second hand. Very good. And once you feel like you got through all those places, you might give your hands just a nice little rub together, generate a little heat in those hands. And you might place them over your ears and just feel the warmth on your ears for a moment. And then maybe doing the same thing again. If you have glasses on, you might take your glasses off for just a moment, and we'll do the same thing and really generate some heat on the hands, and then place those hands over the eyes for a moment. Feel that warmth on the eyes. Very good. And then beginning with your fingers to just gently rake open your forehead, just very softly. Very softly. And then if you'd like to work into the scalp, you can work into the scalp, massaging the head or the back of the neck or the sides of the face. Any place that feels like it needs a little attention. Maybe gliding up the cheeks, give yourself a little facelift. Very good. And then coming back, you can give any little last little tingles that you need. And we'll begin to move into our formal pranayama with alternate nostril breathing, nadi shodhana, which is balancing for the nervous system. We'll begin first by blocking the right nostril and breathing in through the left. Then blocking the left and breathing out through the right. In through the right. Out through the left. In through the left. Out through the right. In through the right. Out through the left. In through the left. Out through the right. One more time, in through the right. And out through the left. If you'd like to do a couple more rounds on your own, you can. And then when you feel complete, we'll close our practice today with bumblebee breath, Brahmari Pranayama. This is that humming sound that we did at the beginning of our practice today. So not the complete Om, but just really focusing on that final vibration, that sound. To enhance this process, you can choose to block your ears, cover your eyes, and even press into the nose a little bit. We call this Shanmukhi Mudra. It's just a position of the hands that helps to block out some of these extra senses. If that doesn't feel comfortable for you, you don't have to do that, but you might explore that. We'll do 5 humming breaths, and you'll just do them at your own pace. 5 breaths, breathe in, hum out, breathe in, hum out 5 times. And then you'll bring your hands back to center into prayer. You can begin when you feel ready. I want to take a moment and just thank you so much for joining us this evening for this practice. It's such a joy to come together in this beautiful format of Zoom. It creates this accessibility for us to be right at home, so you can take off to wherever you got to go, and then you're right back where you need to be.
This was excellent. I never felt so good before I go to sleep. Thank you so much. This was excellent. Excellent.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us.
Yes.
And for sharing that. That's very helpful. It's good to
Yeah.
know you feel nice and ready for bed.
Oh yeah. I was like, oh man, I haven't had this good a deep breath in a long time. So this was great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too.
Mhm.
Bye.
Bye. Okay.
All right. How are we doing? Good? Excellent. Very good. Wonderful. Well, it's good to see both of you. I hope you have a beautiful evening. And tomorrow night, pranayama, if you're interested. We are doing our November series of pranayama. That's the donation-based class. Natam, I think you're already signed up for that. So feel free to hop on tomorrow night, 7 o'clock. Okay. Good night, everybody.